Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. My name's Tyler, watching a game on Arabia today between Yo and Fire. Yo is playing here in red as Huns. You can see him pushing a deer in there pretty early. Fire is going to be in blue, also as Huns. This is the first game of a set of 4. Hopefully you can check out the rest of the videos. This is the only Huns war of the set, so if that's what you're into, you're not going to like the next game. But if you'd like to see games between some random civs, you'll see that as we move forward. So the first game now is a Huns war. We can see these players just getting everything established. And if we take a quick look at the maps, we can see that Fire has a little bit of a crappy map. First, we can see his gold is here on the front. It's kind of in no man's land. It's going to be hard to defend. It's also downhill. His opponent, Yo, could really get anything on this hill and put a lot of pressure on there. Cav archers, for instance, would wreak havoc on that hill. We can also see that Fire's stone is going to be in the front, both piles, and they are pretty dang far from that original TC. His berries are on the back. He does have a decent wood line to work with. His secondary gold is really out here again in no man's land, and it doesn't look like Fire has any real opportunity to wall any of this up. So it appears that Fire has a pretty crappy map. He does have 4 on wood, so we might see a drush from him, but we'll see what that drush will be coming up against. So Yo here in red seems to have a much better map. We can see he's got a lot of structure here on the front that he can easily wall this in. His stone seems to be in a fairly safe spot if that wall is out here a little bit further. His gold is going to be totally safe and wallable. He does have his berries on the back, and he has this back area that's sort of like a pocket that you can potentially wall across here and really protect that whole area. So Yo with about as good of a map as you can ask for. Yo also having 4 villagers on wood, potentially going to send forward a drush. This is my first time seeing this game, but I would expect Yo to potentially send a drush to distract Fire while he walls everything up. I can't see why Yo would not wall this game. This is a competitive set of games. These games actually matter to these guys, and you usually see quite a bit more walling in those types of games. And we'll just have to see, can Fire pull a rabbit out of the hat and pick up a win here? We can see both guys have not found each other yet. They're scouting this top edge of the map. They're actually going to find each other's scouts, potentially. Doesn't look like it. Their scouts are going to pass like ships in the night. But for the moment, neither player knows very much about the other. Fire with a little bit of a score advantage since Yo's scout was pushing deer early on. And we can see Fire is now starting to move close to where Yo is camped out. So Fire will find Yo. Presumably Yo will soon work his way down to find Fire as well. And until then, we'll just enjoy a very normal, very easy Dark Age build for both of these guys. Both boars down here for Fire. Second boar being chewed up by Yo. Not too much shenanigans for the moment. Looks like this scout could run straight into this TC, but he doesn't. He's going to come within the line of sight to see that villager, so he does know that this is where Yo is at. And interestingly, Fire can see quite a bit of the structure that's going to be involved in Yo's defense. Fire presumably will come in and get a little bit more scouting. You know, you really want to locate that gold and resource piles of your opponent. Meanwhile, on the other side, we can see Yo coming in. He is running straight at that TC, and he is potentially going to take some arrow fire. He might have been able to pick this villager off, but it looks like at the very last second he pulled away from it. He probably would have lost his scout, but I think he could have grabbed that villager. So interesting play from Yo early on, kind of running in to try to snipe a villager. But he survives, his scout on about half HP. We can see that Fire is just now grabbing Loom. Yo grabbed it already. So these guys are pretty much on similar paces thus far. We can see that Yo is palisading up this back pocket area. That's going to give him a huge advantage. I mean, potentially dropping a TC here and just taking these resources. Fire has clicked up to feudal. We can also see that Yo has walled in this side, and he's just about to finish walling up the front. Fire can see this drush, so he knows that that's going to be coming in. But he won't have a drush to counter it because he doesn't have a barracks yet. So Fire will be countering that drush with feudal age units. It doesn't look like Fire has a lot that's very vulnerable here. You know, the amount of villagers on this wood line are not going to be threatened by a 3 militia drush. Barracks is coming up now for Fire. He'll be ready to drop potentially a stable or archery range right off the bat in the feudal age. Interestingly, Fire has not done a whole lot of scouting of Yo. He just saw that barracks. He hasn't seen the walls yet. But he has to anticipate them based on all this structure. He also hasn't even seen anything on this backside. So maybe he is anticipating a full wall up for Yo. You know, walling up is not uncommon behind a drush. So maybe we'll see a drush fast castle from Yo while he walls up. Maybe that's what Fire is anticipating. We can see Fire is just about to hit feudal. It looks like he's going to get there in time to really neutralize Yo's drush. By the time Yo gets in, I think Fire will have feudal age units to counter him. We can see that the first thing coming down here is a stable. 2 villagers on that. They might be harassed by this scout, but they're going to potentially get palisades up. Yes, they will. Fire will also grab Yo's scout there, really neutralizing that drush. We can see this this militia has gone off and started to lame some deer. So, you know, Yo is in full tournament style play. Fire's stable is up. We're going to see a few scouts from him. And we'll have to see if he sends those directly forward or if he stays behind to finish this drush off. Yo finishing those deer off. What a waste of such beautiful animals. But, you know, he's decided to lame those so that Fire can't take the food. Fire will now have 2 scouts on the field. It looks like he's going to be able to isolate this militia for the moment, get a few free downhill hits in, and that's going to give him a major advantage. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him bring a 3rd scout out and just go forward. These militia are not going to be able to do any major harassment. But here we go. He is going to come back and take care of those militia, playing it safe and sound. Fire may anticipate that wall off, and he may know that these scouts aren't going to be a major threat to Yo. Little micro here from Fire. We can see the 1 scout that's very low. He needs to keep that away from those militia. Unfortunately, he is going to lose that scout, but in the process, he will clean up Yo's drush. So, Yo sending a drush, not getting any villagers or any real harassment, but I think it did its job. It allowed Yo to finish his wall off and really start getting his economy going very strongly. Yo's going to hit feudal age before he even gets any pressure from Fire, which is always a nice thing to do when you're doing a relatively fast castle build. Yo's going to drop an archery range. He's also going to drop a blacksmith. He's got 4 villagers out on gold, and those will be able to support some archer builds, one would think. And when we see Yo get these buildings up, we'll probably see him click up very shortly after. We can see his food is on 750, gold is on 200. So he will have what it takes to click up in just a moment. Probably finish this last villager off, and he'll be up to the Castle Age, and he's going to have a pretty major advantage on Fire in Castle Age time. So Yo clicking up. Fire has just now clicked Wheelbarrow, so we might see him go up very soon as well. Fire just going with those 3 scouts. He is going to drop an archery range. He's got a few villagers here on gold, but he called it a day after 3 scouts, which is very wise because, as Fire has now seen, Yo is walled in, and having more scouts would really not help him put any pressure on here. So both players playing a pretty nice start to this game. Yo with a really good map has a major advantage here, but we'll see if Fire can maybe get some pressure on Yo. You know, he is mining gold out here in what I would think of as no man's land, you know, potentially going to be attacked from the hill here, and that's going to be a major disadvantage for him. His other gold pile is way out here. Potentially he could defend that with a tower or a TC, but either way, it's not going to be an easy game for Fire. But it is the best of 4. If he can steal this one somehow, he's going to have a major advantage. We can see Yo going triple archery range, Fire going double archery range. Those archery range locations I think are very interesting for Fire. If he is getting harassed here, he'll be able to reinforce or to fight Yo's army off with these archery ranges being directly next to his gold mines. So we'll see if that strategy works out for him. We can see the castle time difference is going to be about 2 minutes. So Yo's going to have 2 minutes of free reign on his opponent, and we'll see if he can get maybe some villagers and slow his opponent's economy down. As far as villager count goes, Fire's on 32 since he went up to castle a little later. Yo is on 30. Yo is just now hitting castle, and we're going to see some aggression from him, one would think. 3 ranges, 3 cav archers, and for the moment he is not going to drop a second TC. He's going to save up some of that wood for more cav archers, one would imagine. Fire, on the other hand, is not quite halfway to castle, and we might expect to see some skirmishers from him. At the moment he's building archers, and he's going to drop a 3rd range, and he's going to try to defend this gold. That's going to be the big challenge for Fire. If we look at Yo's scouting, he has seen that gold pile. He's also seen this gold pile up here. So Yo knows what Fire's challenge is. It's going to be collecting that gold. So here come the first 3 cav archers. Right now they'll be met by a couple of archers and skirmishers that are in these ranges. 3 more cav archers to follow, and we'll see if Yo can make something out of this. His advantage to getting to Castle Age first is that he gets to fight these relatively wimpy Feudal Age units with his Castle Age cav archers, which are now +1 damage. He's coming up against +1/+1 archers and skirmishers from Fire, so Fire with a little bit better upgrades at the moment. But this little army is just nothing compared to these cav archers right now. They're going to grab a villager, potentially more if they come in here. Looks like they will get a second villager there, and Yo is really in good shape. Interestingly, not sending a 3rd set of 3 cav archers. Yo has slowed down. He does have a 3rd set coming. Seems like they're a little bit slow to get there to reinforce, but he will keep the pressure on with 3 more cav archers. At the moment, he's denied this 3rd archery range from Fire, and that's going to help him out quite a bit. He's going to have a major advantage in building his military if his opponent only has 2 ranges. But that 3rd range will finish up. This villager will live to tell the tale of having built that beautiful archery range, and for the moment, Yo is just sort of picking and poking and prodding around the outer edge of Fire's base. Fire's done a nice job here to palisade toward his TC. That's going to slow Yo down from running through the back door. But Yo at the moment doesn't care about that back door. He's going to be picking gold miners off, which seems like a very wise move. He's got a second villager down, and this will be a 3rd in just a second. There goes number 3. And those cav archers will now head to the back wood line and continue their harassment. He is down to 5 now, so it's going to be a little bit slower for him to pick villagers off. But he does get another there, and he should potentially grab more here before they go too far. Will he get this guy? Nope, that villager's going to make it for the moment, and Fire's going to do some pushing back with some crossbows. Yo sending a few more cav archers here onto the front edge. They're going to be met with skirmishers and a couple of archers as well. These gold miners currently idle, but not really being fully pushed off of that gold. And for now, Yo will be running out the back door and hiding. Interestingly, if he had kept going, he would have run right into this villager. But hindsight is 2020. You just never know. And for now, Yo is just running around trying to get some more harassment in. He's going to have a few seconds here to hit these villagers. We'll see if he can actually get one of them before those crossbows show up. He does grab another villager there. So Yo with a pretty major advantage economically at the moment. 44 villagers to 32 of Fire. But Fire's investing, and he's starting to build up a bit of an army. Yo has dropped a second TC. And he's coming down with a stable, potentially going to add some knights into the mix. But for the moment, oh, no, Fire is going to come with a second TC as well. Fire's going to be a little bit behind since Yo's is already built. But all in all, he should be able to keep pace with Yo, except for the probably 5 or 6 or 7 villagers he lost in Yo's initial raids. So Yo doing some good early raiding. He hasn't committed fully to aggression, but he has been able to keep some pressure on Fire. Fire's building up some crossbows here. It looks like those are ready to go forward. They might be supported by this group of cav archers, or those might stay behind to defend. Looks like those will be behind to defend. Those are +2 damage, +1 armor, and it looks like Yo has these same upgrades. Fire has a university up, but by the looks of it, he doesn't have ballistics yet. Let's see. Let's see if he has ballistics. At the moment, it doesn't matter since nobody's moving, and these guys are just taking this fight straight up. And we'll see in just a second. So, nope, I don't see ballistics there. So no ballistics yet for Fire, no ballistics yet for Yo. Yo just grabbing bloodlines, so he's going to have an advantage in the cav archer war. But at the moment, he is outnumbered. He's slowed down production a little bit here. He's got a few cav archers coming, but he's opted for a 3rd TC instead of more aggression. So 3 TCs for Yo, 2 TCs for Fire. Yo with a 14 villager advantage at the moment. But Fire is here, and he's ready to try to equalize that advantage. Did he grab a villager on this wood line? I don't see it. But able to push those villagers off that wood line for the moment. We do have cav archers chasing each other around back here. But what's more interesting to me is the fact that Fire is going to grab 3 of Yo's villagers, potentially more. Yo a little bit slow to react there, so he's going to lose those 3 vills. Potentially a 4th. Nope, 3 vills down for Yo. So, Fire closing the gap a little bit. It's an 11 villager advantage. No, I'm sorry, it's a 13 villager advantage at the moment for Yo. So, Fire potentially going to get his way in the back door with these crossbows, and those will be able to wreak havoc on these farms. They've currently pushed these villagers off of those, off of that wood line and idled them at least for a moment. We'll see a university from Yo as well, and we'll probably see ballistics from both players very soon. Meanwhile, we can see Fire with actually a pretty formidable army here. No bloodlines yet, but he's got quite a few cavalry archers here who could really do some damage. Unfortunately, before his crossbows can get in the back door, he is going to be fighting cav archers, which are outnumbering him here and are going to clean up those crossbows pretty quickly. Both players with ballistics on the way. We can see Yo grabbing wheelbarrow as well. And it looks like cav archers here for Fire doing a little harassment. Actually not very good micro from him at the moment. He's going to lose 3 cav archers to that TC for free. That's never good. Never give anything away for free. Unless it's YouTube videos. Then give as many away for free as you want. Just like this channel. We can see Fire still has an advantage here with cav archers. Losing those 3 to that TC was not ideal. And not having bloodlines is not ideal, but he is +2/+1 versus +2/+1. We can see Yo is now grabbing Thumb Ring, and he's got a pretty good advantage militarily for upgrades, but I think his numbers are a little bit lower. If we look at total population, Yo is 7 ahead, but 14 villagers ahead, so he's 7 military units behind at the moment. Yo on 3 TCs, starting to grab stone. These cav archers are chasing each other around, both with ballistics. One now with Thumb Ring. We can see Fire still on 2 TCs at the moment, so he is going to continue to fall behind on the villager count. But he is able to protect this gold, and a 4th archery range coming down at the moment as well. So Fire, still without bloodlines, has really been able to hold his side. Yo's got a pretty big advantage. If Yo can hold Fire off for another few minutes of game time, he's going to really start to boom, and that might be too much for Fire to come back from. But for the moment, Fire's played this map really well. He's protected this gold in a very beautiful way. I thought for sure that would be harassed from the jump. But for now, it's safe. And in addition to that, it appears he has an advantage. He's picking off Cav Archers here on the front, Cav Archers over here to the side. And potentially, if he can corner these Cav Archers and pick a good fight, Fire might be able to get some harassment on Yo's villagers and equalize this villager count. Currently plus 15 for Yo. Looks like Fire's going to take this fight for the moment. I don't know why. Maybe it's an optical illusion, but it appears that Fire's downhill here. And he's taking major losses. He does now have bloodlines, but fighting uphill is never a good idea. And oh boy, he's going to lose pretty much his entire army here. Fire's still not pulling back. I'm not sure why he took that fight for so long. But he's going to lose quite a few of his Cav Archers. And Yo is going to still have quite a few intact, enough to defend. So Yo is really booming, and unfortunately for Fire, that seemed like a really bad fight. And it's going to give Yo a lot of time before Yo's economy gets any harassment whatsoever. So 3 TCs booming out of control for Yo, starting to potentially gather some food for his click up to Imperial. We can see Fire with a 3rd TC now, but he's pretty late to the game. He's about 12-13 villagers behind. So it really looks like Yo has a major advantage here. But Fire still has the bigger army. Yo's army is now away, and maybe Fire can come in and equalize that villager count a little bit. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see what he decides to do with this group. He's adding a few elite skirms to the mix. That seems like a pretty smart move on his part. Maybe he can take on this group head on, and once he cleans up at least some of these Cav Archers, he should be able to really just waltz his way right in and harass Yo. Yo dropping a market, he can keep his economy balanced. He's going to drop a castle here in the middle to control this gold in this center pinch point of the map. That seems like a really nice location for him. It looks like Fire sees this. He's got a skirmisher here that's attacking, and Fire has far superior numbers by the looks of it. He's going to come in here and probably stop this castle from going down. 1 villager down right off the bat. Those elite skirms are going to have free reign, taking down these Cav Archers. Cav Archers are probably going to focus the villagers down. And Yo is still building this castle. So for the moment, Yo with 5 living villagers that are 53% of the way to finishing this. Another villager dead. Beautiful arrows right in his back there. And Fire's taking a pretty good fight here. Yo's trying to get this castle down, but he's going to sacrifice a lot of his military to do it. He's also sacrificing quite a few villagers. So I think Fire has a major advantage here. This is a really good fight for him. Using those elite skirms to hopefully focus down these Cav Archers. And he is doing just that. He's getting a lot of Cav Archers here for really not very much. Yo is 70% of the way through building this castle. I think these Cav Archers are still massed up enough to deny it. They just have to focus these villagers down. And they will start doing that. 1 villager down. Another one in a moment here. 2 villagers. Looks like 3. It's on 94%. Will it go up? 95%. Another villager down. Oh, and Yo finishes the job with 2 villagers left. So, Yo gets his castle up, but Fire really gets... Oh, Fire needs to retreat these Cav Archers. Is he going to throw them all away here? That wasn't great, but all in all, I think Fire did a really nice job there. He really took a lot of Yo's army and villagers down. But Yo committed to that castle, and hey, to his credit, that castle went up. So, Yo is now up to Imperial, grabbing scale barding armor, and it looks like he's starting to build a couple of Tarkans here. So, we might see some Tarkan harassment. Not too shabby. That should be fun. Still 3 TCs for Yo. Castle coming up in the back to protect these resources. Starting to send some villagers here to mine gold on the front. Fire, on the other hand, really looks like he's aggressively investing in grabbing some stone to build a few castles of his own. Other than that, he is just mining some gold here and taking some wood and some food. So, we'll see what happens. Yo's going to hit Imperial quite a bit before Fire, and it looks like, at least for the moment, he's starting to mass up some Tarkans. Is he building some Tarkans in this castle as well? He is, so we're going to see really potentially a full-on Tarkan rush from Mr. Yo. Fire hopefully will seize the moment. He does have a few minutes before Yo's Tarkans are massed up. He can maybe get in here and do some harassment. These skirmishers aren't going to do very much against Tarkans, so maybe a very nice move from Yo. Excuse me. We do see Fire in here with a few knights. That will be a nice way to harass this economy. But unfortunately, he's going to find when he breaks through that wall that there's a castle here waiting for him. And potentially a couple of Tarkans waiting as well. So, Yo coming out to a pretty good lead here, about 1,200 points. He's Imperial. He's getting all of those beautiful Imperial upgrades at the moment. While Fire is still waiting on his Imperial upgrade, he does have a military advantage. Hopefully he can get in here and grab a couple of villagers, as Yo is on 103 versus 88. So Yo by 15 villagers, 17 villagers now, having a really major advantage in his economy. But at the moment, at least a few of those villagers are idle, and Fire's doing a pretty good job. It looks like Yo could actually lose this castle if he doesn't delete it. What's going to happen here? Looks like Fire's going to take that castle. Nope. Almost take that castle down. So Yo wants to get another castle. He's starting to creep forward toward Fire. Potentially going to squeeze this gold away from Fire. And start to set up a really nice attack on the front of Fire's base. Fire's dropping a castle as well. We could see trebs from Yo at some point, but he will need a military to defend those, and at the moment he just really doesn't have a huge military. These Tarkans heading around the side, potentially going to do some raiding. And we do have some action here. It looks like Fire is going to come in the back door. He's going to run past that castle with a couple of knights, and we'll see if he can grab a few villagers. The only problem that he has is he's taking a lot of fire from these TCs, and these Tarkans have now caught up to him. Tarkan's not the greatest unit for fighting knights, but they should get the job done. They do have superior upgrades to those knights. Those knights are they're basic. They don't have any armor or attack upgrades, and we can see that Fire's knights are going to go down here, and they're not going to get a single villager for their troubles. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yo is getting some payback for his troubles. He's got 3, 4, 5 villagers down there from Fire, 6 villagers down, and do we have 7? We have 7 villagers down, and he might even be able to get this TC, although reinforcements are coming in large number. So Yo is now on a 16, 17, 18, 26 villager lead at the moment, and that's really huge for him. He's also had the Imperial time to grab elite Tarkan and get some harassment on his opponent. Yo starting to push forward with castles, starting to treb down Fire here, and this is starting to look like it could be the beginning of the end for Fire. Yo sending quite a few villagers across here. He is going to castle this gold, even though it's 3 piles. It's still more than he has everywhere else. He's also grabbing relics. And we do have a little bit of a fight going on here. Those Tarkans coming forward, they would have been very well timed to grab these Trebs, but for the moment they're pushed away by the Halbs. A couple of counter Trebs, but it seems too little too late unless some villagers are going to come over and start repairing this castle. Fire will have the hill advantage here. He's also starting to stonewall up his side, which is an interesting, seems like a smart play to me. This castle is in peril unless some villagers are going to come and work on it. These Trebs, this Treb here, both of these Trebs are inactive at the moment. They could be focusing on these Trebs if they move forward, which it looks like they will. However, this castle is going to be lost. There's just no time to get there. Meanwhile, Tarkan raiding happening in Fire's base. Those Tarkans coming in, taking villagers. You can see more Tarkans here. They did take that TC down eventually. And more Tarkans even here on Fire's newly built 4th TC. And it looks like Yo is just going to keep the pressure on and keep raiding. Yo sending Tarkans to the corner here. Thought those might be villagers. And dropping some siege workshops. Potentially going to come forward and try to start pushing in on Fire. Lots of Tarkans now coming in for Yo. And they're just going to attack these stone walls and slowly work them down. There are villagers here building a second level of those, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough. These Tarkans have pretty big buffs against walls, and I think it's going to be a little bit too slow of a secondary wall there. But we shall see. These villagers are getting into the fray. 4 villagers here now building this wall. And it's very important for them to hold that wall down. This number of Tarkans can really come in, take this TC, and really knock out this entire side of Fire's base. Fire's are going to mass up here on the front, building another castle. He's going to continue to have a castle within the range of this gold by the looks of it. His Trebs are gone. They've probably been counter-trebbed here, or Tarkans may have run in and taken them. There's a dead Tarkan here, so they might have done that. But look at Fire's trash units here. He's got quite a few Halbs at the ready, and they're going to be able to defend this. Actually, at the moment, Fire has stopped building that castle. It is starting to take hits from Trebs from the corner, and that's going to be a very annoying thing for him to try to deal with an army that's mostly made of trash. Fire did hold for now. He did hold this line. His villagers building a secondary level of walls, and that was enough to slow the Tarkans. Tarkans do have an opening here. I don't know if Fire deleted those to let those in, but these Halbs are going to be here to meet them, and they're going to do a whole ton of damage. Only a few of those Tarkans getting through unscathed. This whole group is going to make it through, but quite a few lost there, really for free. And we'll see if they can come in the back door here and do some more harassment. They've shut down this TC for the moment. They're going to head over here and probably take this TC out, depending on how fast these Halbs can reinforce. He's also split a small group up here. Those are going to do some more harassment. The problem is, with this strategy, there are a lot of Halbs on the map that are going to be able to take these Tarkans down relatively quickly. So we'll have to just wait and see if this is enough for Fire to, for Yo to get the job done. Yo is pushing in on the front. He could potentially take this castle down with these 2 Trebs. These villagers are not going to be able to continue to repair it because they're going to soon be dead. So that castle seems like it will have to go down. I don't see any way it's going to stay up. A few more hits from the Trebs. And Fire will have a serious map control problem. These villagers are all in serious danger. They're going to go down, and there's the GG from Fire. So, Fire with a horrible map, and unfortunately he's not able to recover from that. Yo really led this game from the start, and he ends up getting the win. So game 1 goes to Yo. This is the only Huns War of the set. Please tune in for game 2. Hopefully I'll be uploading that very soon. Until then, I'm Tyler. Thanks again. Have a good day.